So, today we're going to dive into an application called FacePass, and its goal is a big one, to completely change how we think about school attendance and safety. Let's see how it claims to do that. Let me ask you a question, especially if you're a parent. When does the school day really end? I mean, it's not when the final bell rings, is it? Nope. It ends the moment you know your kid is safe. It's that gap in between, the waiting, the wondering. That's a feeling a lot of us know all too well. And that's exactly the feeling, that daily worry, that FacePass says it wants to eliminate. It's all about getting rid of that anxious waiting game. Just to confirm your child is exactly where they're supposed to be. The folks behind FacePass say this whole idea came directly from that reality. From a parent's point of view, the goal is super simple. Swap out that constant low-level anxiety for the absolute certainty of a single definitive notification. So, what's the solution they're proposing? It's called FacePass. And the idea is a system that uses facial recognition right there at the school gate to shoot parents an instant update the second their child checks in or checks out. Okay, so that's the big promise. But how does this thing actually work in practice? Let's walk through the process they've laid out, from the school gate all the way to a parent's phone. It's actually pretty straightforward. It really boils down to 3 simple steps. Okay, step 1, the student arrives and their face gets scanned at the gate. Step 2, the system's AI kicks in and accurately identifies them. And boom, step 3, an instant notification. We're talking a real-time alert with a timestamp is sent straight to the parent's phone, both as a push notification and an email. So scan, identify, notify. That's the whole loop. All right, but let's be real. The moment you put the words facial recognition and children in the same sentence, alarm bells start going off, right? Big questions about data security and privacy immediately come to mind. So the big question is, how does FacePass claim to handle and protect this incredibly sensitive information? Well, their number one claim right out of the gate is that security is our top priority. And it has to be, right? The entire system's credibility, the trust parents put in it, it all hinges on this single promise. So let's peel back the layers and see what that actually means in technical terms. Okay, so here's probably the most important technical point you need to understand. The system claims it doesn't actually store a photo of your child's face. Instead, what it does is create something called a biometric template. Think of it as a secure encoded map of the face. And this is so important because a template is just a string of numbers and letters. It's data. You can't supposedly reverse engineer it back into an actual photograph. On top of that, they talk about having multiple layers of security. So, for example, all the data is encrypted, both when it's just sitting on a server and when it's being sent over the internet. Access is also a big deal. They say they use token-based authentication. That's just a fancy way of making sure only verified users can even get in. And then there's role-based access, which basically means a teacher, for instance, won't see the same level of data as, say, the school's principal. Everyone gets the info they need and nothing more. And it's not just about their own internal security measures. FacePass also states that it complies with some of the biggest data privacy laws out there. We're talking about things like COPPA and FERPA here in the US, and even GDPR over in Europe. And these aren't just suggestions. These are serious regulations built specifically to protect children's data and to make sure parents have the final say and control over consent. So we've talked a lot about peace of mind for parents, and that's obviously the main selling point. But the system is also designed to offer some pretty significant benefits for the schools themselves, mainly by automating what can be a really tedious, time-consuming daily task. Yeah, for school staff, this is all about making life easier. The promise is a more efficient workflow. There's an admin dashboard to simplify student enrollment, attendance tracking becomes completely automatic, no more paper lists, and the system can spit out reports and handle different admin accounts. The whole idea is to cut down on that manual grunt work and potential for human error. So how do schools get this? Well, it's offered in a few different tiers. There's actually a free plan to start for a really small school or maybe a trial run, which covers up to 10 students. From there, it scales up to a starter and a professional tier, which, as you'd expect, support more students and more admin accounts. So after digging into all the tech, the security protocols, and the admin features, we come right back around to where we started, that core promise, the big emotional benefit for the parent. And really, this is what it all boils down to. And it's captured perfectly in their own tagline. It's not really about the tech, is it? It's not just about tracking attendance. It's about delivering a very specific feeling,
Or maybe the absence of a feeling. It's about giving you that one moment of relief when you know for sure that your child is safe where they're supposed to be. And as this kind of technology becomes more and more common, it really does leave us with a big question to think about. Is this the future of school safety? It kind of forces us to weigh our own desire for peace of mind against the much broader questions about privacy and surveillance in our everyday lives. Something to chew on. That's all for this explainer. Thanks for tuning in.